Welcome back to the Binghamton Bearcats Dynasty. Season 2 kicks off right now. The first thing we need to do is check the draft results, and in doing so, we see that TJ Beasy got drafted to the NFL in the 4th round. We're going to say he got drafted by the Browns to try to help Shador turn them around. Moving on to the transfer portal, we see that our all-star left tackle, Aaron Beecher, had left and entered the transfer portal, so now we need to try to recruit him and actually keep him on our team so we have a solid offensive line. Another star that we're going to go after is Cam Edwards, the transfer from Syracuse, the running back to back up Muskrat. The 4-star quarterback from Syracuse, Steve Angeli's in the transfer portal. We're going to try to recruit him to back up Seth Seppuku. Being a small 2-star program, I only get to send the house to about 7 offensive players and 7 defensive players. It makes it hard to offer any top recruits because if the bigger schools like Ohio State or Georgia decide to send the house, the commits can flip quickly and then you end up with nothing. So when I'm recruiting players, I try to find players closer to my pipelines rather than fighting with other pipelines and potentially wasting hours and then losing the recruit in the end. But we need to recruit some 4-star players to help our team improve, like Matt Rose and Keith Abney II. When we sim ahead through the weeks, the first 2 players to join the Bearcats are Keith Abney II and DeAndre Johnson. Steve Angeli decides to take the money from Ohio State and says forget the Bearcats, rumored to be around $2 million that he's going to be making per year. We get to the end of the transfer portal season and we see that we have signed Cam Edwards, Ethan Spoth, Brandon Best, Matt Rose, PJ Hamilton, Kyle Shepley, Silas Ivy, Aaron Beecher, the big left tackle coming back to Binghamton to run it back again, Sergio Alba, Mason Poza, Nate Bliss, Caden Moreau, and that is everybody. We also lost out on a couple of people to some of these bigger schools that we didn't even realize. We end up with the 30th overall recruiting class in the country. Not too bad. Will definitely help our team improve. Ethan Hooks came into the coach's office and asked if he could start taking reps with the receivers in an attempt to get onto the field this season. Coach allows it, and we have a new 71 overall speedster wide receiver in the room. Some other position changes on the offensive line, as Brandon Best is moving from an 81 overall backup left guard to an 87 overall starting center for his senior year, and Caden Moreau is moving from guard to right tackle to improve our line on the right-hand side. On to the defensive side, and we see our NIL player, Josh Residual Ark, is switching from the right side edge to the left side edge. And Matt Rose is moving from the middle linebacker to the Sam linebacker, so he can start for his senior year as well. Our scouts have returned, and we send out scholarship offers to 34 players from all over the country. With all of our NIL players being in their junior season, they could leave for the NFL after this season, following in the footsteps of their former teammate, TJ Beasy, who was the first Bearcat ever drafted to the NFL in the 4th round by the Cleveland Browns. Seth Seppuku spent a lot of his offseason in the wilderness of Utah fishing, but did find time to go to LA and work out with Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams trainers, which improved his speed to a 90 and his accuracy to a 95. Keith Muskrat spent his offseason biking the entirety of the Appalachian Trail, which resulted in his speed raising from an 89 to a 93. He is saying that he has never felt faster in his life. Rayman Noodles flew to Detroit and worked out with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta to help improve his speed and his route running out on the field, increasing his speed from an 87 to an 89 and his route running from an 86 to an 88. Josh Residual Ark went out to Las Vegas and he worked out with defensive end Max Crosby, which improved almost every aspect of his game. That's going to move him from a 90 overall to a 92 overall. He's going to be even bigger of a beast out there. Marcus Highguy vowed he was going to be better in pass coverage this year, and to make that happen, he went to Darius Butler's DB boot camp, which increases his speed from an 85 to an 88 and his pass coverage to a 79. Wyatt Lil Blue will never admit it, but he was tired of getting ran over when making a tackle. So he went back home to Montana and spent his days training to tackle a greased up pig. His tackling increases from a 63 to a 74. All of that shadowing the pig trying to catch it helps improve his man coverage and his zone coverage as well. Last but not least, we have David High on Dave. He felt like he needed to be quicker on his feet as a safety, so he spent his offseason in his room doing bicycle kicks. When his teammates asked him why, he simply said, "Don't question my methods." Somehow he improved his speed from a 90 to a 92. Our first look at the preseason top 25 is going to show that we are going to start the season off at number 17 in the country. Looking ahead at our schedule for the year, we got rid of the cakewalk games and replaced them with Illinois, Michigan, and SMU, with 4 ranked opponents and 3 rivalry games against Cincinnati, West Virginia, and Army. The Bearcats' schedule is going to be a lot tougher this year. We will see how they do.